Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Prospect Central 101. My name is Chris Robbins, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit of Austin Bryant, who was the Lions pick in the 4th round of the 2019 NFL Draft, following a trade back with the Atlanta Falcons. So, Austin Bryant here is a 4th-year senior from Clemson. Pretty consistent trend here with the Lions this year. Outside of Hawkinson, senior and by, I believe Harris may have been a senior. I'm pretty sure. I'll look real quick just to make sure. Yes, 4th-year senior for Harris. So senior with Harris, senior with Bryant, 5th-year senior with Amani. Lot of seniors in this class. I'm pretty sure Fulgham was a senior. But yeah, point being made there. Tons and tons of our draft picks this year, seniors, experienced players. So following that up, he is from Clemson, the national champions. Also signed Trey Lamar, who is a linebacker from Clemson as a UDFA. Listed officially at the combine at 6'3" and 7/8, 6'3", 7 and 6'3" inches, 3 7/8 inches. There we go. 271 pounds, 9 and 5/8 inch hands, and 34 and 5/8 inch arms. Pretty impressive, especially if you look at some of these other totals. 32, 33, 30 for Sutton Smith. He's really small though. 32, 32, 32, lots of 32s, a couple of 33s. So over 34 and a half is really, really long, which really kind of fits into that Matt Patricia-esque length value there. With that being said, let's select his, oops, not that one, this one. Let's select his little profile here. Shout out to Mark Jarvis of What's on Draft for putting this all together for us. And we have, it looks like, 3 games to watch. So we'll start with Duke and then go down from there. I'm just going to exit that out real quick. That was from our last video. If you guys haven't checked out the Amani Oruwariye breakdowns yet, definitely go ahead and do so. Those were both quite fun to make. But for now, we move on to our 4th rounder, Austin Bryant. So here we go. He is going to be lined up here at the defensive end position, 7 tech outside the right tackle. And the one thing, I watched Austin Bryant film coming into this, but I always wait until the Lions make their picks to do the breakdowns on the Lions picks, of course. And the one thing that really stood out to me upon first watching, especially over the course of the Clemson season, got to see a lot of Clemson tape, was his versatility and usage. And for those of you guys who are Lions fans, hearing the first thing out of my mouth, versatility, probably screams Matt Patricia to you right off the bat. And that's exactly why I like this pick for Detroit. And his versatility and usage. Again, got to see him on a stunt the very first play to get him matched up against a guard. The one thing that you're going to really, really love about Austin Bryant, is especially if you're into this coaching staff and buy into the Matt Patricia versatility, mismatch type of thing, is exactly that. Austin Bryant is a perfect player for our scheme in terms of mismatches, matching up against a guard versus a tackle versus a center, matching up in a stand-up role one week to a 7-tech role the next to a 5-tech role the next. Guy every single week can be used in a different way against different offensive lines. So that's what really sold me on the Austin Bryant pick to Detroit, and why I think he's going to be a very solid player for this coaching staff. And again, on second play in a row, you got to see him start out at that 7-tech spot and then rotating on the stunt. Bottom of the screen again at 7, and I expect him to probably bend around this play. Yep. And then I want to see him flatten. Oh, nope. Didn't have the time to. Nice run by Daniel Jones, to be fair. Back at the 7 Tech. So it appears as though in this particular game, Austin Bryant's best matchup is probably going to be with the right guard or the right tackle. And once again, they flex him inside on a stunt. So yeah, they really like those stunts against this Duke offensive line. Now lining him up inside in a 2-gap roll. And then shove getting outside to steal edge. Really nice job of winning the outside leverage on that play. And being there should the run come his direction. And then now we get to see him in the stand-up role. Like I started off the video with, you're going to see him lined up all over the defensive line. Not necessarily nose, because they do have Christian Wilkins and Dexter Lawrence there. But you will see him at 5, you will see him at 7, you will see him in stand-up. You'll probably see him throughout the video on the opposite side at times. So that's something to watch out for. Drop into coverage. Take away the interior portion of the underneath routes in case there's a drag. And again, that just speaks to his versatility. He doesn't always have to rush the passer, he can drop, which is really fun. And there you go. See, next play, some in 3 straight plays, lined up at 7, lined up in as a jack, and then now he's lined up at 5. Defensive end, 3-4 end, 4-3 tackle. So he really has that versatility that the lines covet, and that's really the selling point with him, is his ability to create mismatches. And yeah, he's basically getting triple teamed. So that's probably his biggest asset that you're going to see from him, and that's what's going to get him on the field and on the 47 or the 46-man roster, is his ability to play all these different positions. Lined up at the tight end this time, actually. Great discipline there to recognize that was a play action. Probably would have liked to have seen him in coverage there on that particular play, but oh well. Stunt? Nope. Oh, yeah, there it is. Late stunt. Kind of saw that coming. Okay, definitely his biggest weakness right there is the anchor. His run defense does need a little bit of work to play at the NFL level. He is more of a third down player. And again, he's a versatile 3-down player, right? You can line him up inside, you can line him up at the edge, you can line him up in a stand-up role, you can use him on stunts and twists and all kinds of variations of pass rushing, but he is a pass rusher. So, of course, that is also, again, kind of what we need right now, right? Romeo Okwara, more of your typical hand and dirt 4-3 end, pretty good run defender who can get some sacks if it's a passing play. Whereas Bryant is more of your pressure guy. You're the guy that you're going to be able to use on in disguised looks, especially. Maybe you run nickel blitz, maybe you run 5-man front, those types of packages. Austin Bryant's going to be a guy. And he can run 3-tech in NASCAR, which Bob Quinn kind of hinted at during his presser. So that's really going to be his role early on in Detroit, is as a pass rushing specialist, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be playing as a 7 tech end all the time. He won't be replacing Kennard on some plays. He will be replacing, probably moving Trey Flowers inside. You'll probably see him take Trey Flowers' spot in areas at the left tackle. So he might take Trey Flowers' spot at defensive end on some plays while we move Trey inside. He might take some snaps away from Deshaun Hand at times. Or maybe again move Hand inside to 3-tech and then put him at the 5. Those types of things. He just really adds to that versatility and the different sex variations, formations, packages, and more importantly, play calling versatility and what we can do with our pressure looks in terms of disguise. he's really a coach's player, right? This isn't really a guy that you're going to really expect the GM type guy to be banging the table for, your scout type guy, because he does have some issues in run support. He does have a couple of areas to improve as a pass rusher, mostly with his moveset. However, he's a coach's type of player because he really has the ability to do so many things and really develop as well. The upside is tremendous with him because of that. Very high upside player who really will be able to make an impact in a variety of different ways, which is really what the Lions are going for, right? You typically have your safe picks with your guys like your Amanis, your Hawkinsons, your Tobias, the lower upside guy, but with Bryant, and again, you see that too, just demolishing Daniel Jones. With Bryant, you're going to be able to find a way to use him, and he's really a Matt Patricia type bang the table for. I'm sure Paul Pasqualoni, especially having coached against him at Boston College, I believe he tried to recruit him as well. Uh, Kind of one of those defensive coaches just pounding the table for. And I think for Lions fans too, the one thing that you're going to really want to note with this is Bo Davis is the defensive line coach, and he's probably the one of the guys I would trust most coaching of Austin Bryant at the NFL level. Because Bo Davis is really one of those technique developers. He's a teacher, a coach type of coach. Some of these coaches are more like players coaches. They're more like turn athletes into uh, athletic freaks or whatever, like your Tom Cables, and try and rely on that athleticism. With Davis, you get more of someone who coaches up the technique and truly is a coach's coach. And I think that that's really going to suit well with Austin Bryant, especially coming from a Clemson scheme and a Clemson system where you really have your coach's coach type guy in Swingy and Venables, especially. Uh, Venables pretty similar to the Don Brown and the Matt Patricia type of tree in terms of defensive versatility. So I'm surprised the Lions haven't gone for more Clemson players in spite of that, and it's why I thought of Farrell as a fit, despite his limited athletic abilities in the first round sometimes this past season. Now he's lined up with Jack. So again, just really speaks. We've seen him on the left tackle, we've seen him on the left guard, we've seen him on the right tackle, we've seen him on the right guard, and we've seen him in coverage already 3 plays. So I can understand why a lot of your typical fans might not necessarily be super high on this guy because he has those limitations, especially in the run game. But your coaching staffs are going to be absolutely thrilled with getting him to Detroit next year. Also, I will say I love that hand usage. It was really nice to use the arm to swipe there. Watch here. Nice hand fight, and I really like how he was able to get that arm up and under. Nice and stand up roll over the offensive tackle. Nice dip. Really like how he got low and underneath there. Top of this line. More of a 5 roll there. Nice blocking by the offensive lineman. Austin trying to use a move, didn't end up working. Nice burst off the line on that play. Really nice jump snap. Top of the screen. Again, more of a 5 roll inside the offensive tackle. And then he bounces outside to go around. So you're seeing him both on stunts and on inside outs, which is really nice. Again, speaks to the versatility and ability to win matchup. Once again, back inside at the 5. He really likes that up and under move. Definitely seeing him win the most consistently with going under the offensive tackles and then going through offensive tackles, which is kind of interesting given that he's probably more fit for a finesse skill set. Top of the line, right tackle, and unblocked pressure. Just shove getting the hands up, disrupt the passing lane. Nice play there. Back to the 7. And same thing. Really does a nice job of displacing the offensive tackle's arms really consistently and keeping hands off of his chest. He does a really nice job with that hand usage and really limiting the offensive tackle's strike base, which is what makes him such a really nice defensive end pass rusher. Backer. Dropping coverage. Love that. That was really nice instinct on his part to recognize where the offensive threat was behind him. Right, so you're going to see him ever so slowly follow the QB's eyes in this shot. So he does a really nice job, and you're never going to see him turn his head. Right, always looking at the quarterback's eyes, but you see him, his head still facing front, start to move over, reading the play, and because of that, paired with Trayvon Mullen behind him, takes away Daniel Jones' first read. Very nice coverage there by Austin Bryant underneath. And then back opposite side in 7. Nice inside out there. Now counter, nice spin counter. Really like how he's able to get back inside. Quick release from Daniel Jones negates it, but regardless, that's a very good base to start with. Oh, nice tackle. Able to bring him down. Pretty decent play on his part to win that inside. Nice rip. Kind of got lost a little bit there at the end of the play, though. And again, he's not really going to be your run defender. You're going to have Kennard at Jack and Okwara at defensive end for that. So that's something that I'm personally not too worried about in this aspect of his game. And again, just never really let the offensive tackle get hands in the chest. And that's going to be a really big asset for offensive line, or him against, I should say, offensive linemen at the NFL level who really rely on that hand placement. Uh, his hands are just touching the shoulders, and he's pretty consistent about that. Never letting hands get into his base and move his anchor. Now he does again struggle that against run blocking plays, but as a pass rusher, he's doing a really nice job of swiping those hands away and keeping himself clean as a rusher, which is really helpful against more technically sound offensive tackles. Pretty decent anchor there, especially considering he had to get doubled. Uh, Showing that upside against the run. Back to Jack. Hopefully he gets to see him win here with a little bit more outside. Yep. I really like that push-pull move as well. Back to the top and a jack roll. I like the delay and the patience with him as well. Again, not something that we're going to see a ton of in Detroit next year. However, again, it's a base and something they continue to grow off of. In case he does get stuck in a run situation or run down. Watch right here. He's going to do a really nice job of getting engaged here, keeping his eyes in the backfield to read this read option. And then he breaks loose after the play's been made and follows the ring back. So really nice patience and field vision and awareness on his part. Back again in jack roll. Inside, inside, inside. Okay, would have liked to have seen him play leverage a little bit better there. Counter this back inside. You're playing against an offense or a tight end who's naturally going to have a very quick outside move with a kick. So ideally, you'd like to see him play this to where he comes back underneath. Like right here, if we were to counter this and spin back across underneath, you're basically lined up against the running back, which takes him away from other linemen. Because there's a really good chance you're not going to be able to bend around a tight end. So something to keep in mind, he does need to be aware of who he's lining up against on a particular play. Nice counter there against the run, though. A little bit too late to it, but still pretty solid counter move, I should say. And again, that's where the anchor kind of comes into play, right? First, he kind of got moved back a little bit right off the line. Then he was able to recover and regain that anchor strength. Gonna come back inside. There you go. Top of the line. Nice stunt move here. Take away the center from the defensive tackle. I believe that was actually Farrell on a stunt as well. He does seem to be more of a block eater than a block shedder a lot of the time, which is kind of interesting. Most of his pressures are unblocked, and most of the time he ends up eating blocks, which is, and again, that's kind of the role for him, because all the other guys there are more shedders. You have Dexter Lawrence who can shed really well. You have Christian Wilkins who knows how to shed. Of course, Cleveland Farrell is definitely a moves guy who has the technique to be able to beat the tackles. So Bryant is kind of more of your ear that frees the other guys up to make plays. And I think that kind of also speaks to why he fits in Detroit. Detroit loves their do your job type guys who are able to affect the team defense more so than individual stats and accolades and things of that sort. So that also kind of speaks to why he's a really good fit in Detroit compared to some of the other players in the class. This play here is able to get around the offensive tackle really nicely, though. Would like to see him flatten better on that particular look. Yeah, the tight end kind of slowed him down a little bit and moved him, forced him to beat the offensive tackle around. So that was a really nice blocking scheme by Dude to be able to force that. Back here to the defensive end spot. And again, unblocked pressure. able to try and pursue backside on Jones. Nice burst off the line, good for quick first step, and try to win underneath again. So you're seeing him with a minor, minimal variance in moves, which is again something that he's going to be able to develop as a pass rusher in Detroit. That kind of was the cause of, could have been a cause of him falling a little bit, as underdeveloped pass rush moves for a pass rusher. But still, someone who has the upside to continue growing and developing that aspect of his game really plays into the upside factor that you're getting with him, right? Whereas with Cleveland, a lot more polish, a lot more pro ready, double digit sack guy from year one type of player. With Austin Bryant, you're probably starting out 3-4 sack guy, rotational role, but he has that potential 2, 3, 4 years from now to be a double digit sack guy as a pure 3 down pass rusher in all the pass rushing situations, and of course, sucking and long, things of that nature as well. So that's kind of what you're getting with Bryant compared to some of the other players in the class. Now, um, we will watch another game. I'll do a second part on Boston College later as kind of like the background to it, the pick reacting everything. Because I think that kind of speaks to what we're really going to see. I just want to see him in the playoff game also. Oops. This thing's really fast coming from half speed. Top of the line here. Nice hand fighting aggressiveness. Five tech, and yeah, he got. Oh, that was a nice finish though. I really like how he finishes that play. And actually, I will go back and slow that one down so I can talk through it a little bit. So what I like here, starts out in the five tech role, and then he ends up getting blown off the line again. The question about that anchor right off the start. But what you're going to see is that recovery, right? Once he recovers that anchor, you see his functional strength play instead of the anchor. He plays with really good functional strength and upper body strength, where he's able to destroy the offensive lineman and getting on the play. So, despite his poorer lower body strength, his upper body strength is about where he wanted to be. Nice burst off the line. And again, doesn't really have the pass rush moves that you're really looking for. But he does have that, the up and under. So basically, he's one of those guys who kind of comes in. Yeah, he has the hand usage and the. Oh, that was nice. Plays and run defender. Yeah, he really has the hand usage and the ability to free himself up. The difference is that he doesn't really have the pass rush moves, right? So he's polished in some areas, but not necessarily others, which is fine. It gives him a little bit of a base to work with, but also some upside. And here, again, we see the flashiness and the upside of him being a run defender, right? Interior play, able to beat the offensive tackle, and able to make a play behind the line of scrimmage. Unblocked, but you do really get to see that motor in pursuit. More of your blockader type of role. Top of the screen. Just really, really active hands. A very consistent trait with him. And again, the active hand usage, right? Something that we keep on talking about. Every single play, you see his hands flash, keeping him moving, keeping himself free, keeping the offensive lineman away from him, and really just doing an excellent job of making sure that the offensive lineman doesn't get his ideal hand placement and technique and locking him in. Because once you get locked in as a defensive tackle and defensive end, you're kind of forced out of the play. Whereas Bryant, he's really able to keep himself into plays. He's just not really able to kind of win that second phase. So he does a really nice job with the first phase of keeping himself free and putting himself in that position. Then it's about getting yourself from the position to the finish. And when he was able to get through the second phase and into the third phase, he's a finisher. When he's unpressured and he gets through that second phase, he can finish, he can get his sacks, he can get those tackles for loss, things of that nature. It's the aspect of his game that he really needs to work on is that intermediate phase of the play. Uh, Again, great start, nice job keeping himself free. It's that second phase that keeps him from becoming that top of the line player. And that's really what you want to see him develop in Detroit with Davis and Pasqualoni next year. Is he obviously really nice first phase, but is he going to be able to develop that second phase under Paul P. and Bo D? If he is, that second year jump in 2020, he's going to be a really nice pass rusher for us. And he could develop that over the course of this year, and by the time we get to January, be a situational pass rusher in playoff time. But early on in the year, you're really going to want to see him develop that second phase of the play, and see his growth and his upside start to factor in with our coaching staff. Nice patience. Really nice job sealing the edge on that play, forcing the run to the interior. And that's another thing that Clemson's defensive front, they really harped on, right? Because you have, obviously, Clelin Ferrell and Austin Bryant, a couple of really good linebackers, and Shane Lamar, and a couple of good college linebackers, and Kendall Joseph and Shane Lamar. But your strength of your defense is really up the middle with Christian Wilkins and Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence not able to play in this one, but uh, over the course of the season, I should say, your strength of your defense is really with those two interior guys. So what you really want to do is force the run either right into Austin Bryant and Clelin Ferrell on the edge, seal those edges up, and then have your two linebackers as your forces, or your two defensive interior guys, mainly Lawrence and Wilkins, up front, be those run stuffers up the middle, because those two guys are both probably two of the best in the class, if not in college football, against the run last year. Pass rush, and again, keeping himself free is what's able to really keep himself into position to kind of getting on this play. And then you see the motor in pursuit able to cut off the first down marker. But so again, it's all about him being really nice in those first and third phases, right? But he doesn't really have that second phase that allows him to be that top tier guy. And it's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, right? Really nice start to this play here. Gets his hands inside the offensive lineman, knocks him back, keeps himself free, but he doesn't really generate that pressure. But when the quarterback starts to scramble, he gets on his motor and is able to force him out. So it's really good foundation with the first phase, good foundation with the third phase. Got to work on that intermediate level. Same thing. First part of the play, able to move him back, able to keep his hands free, able to really keep himself from getting anchored by the offensive tackle, just not able to finish off the pressure second part of that play because he doesn't have that pass rush moveset yet. In part because he doesn't have that pass rush moveset yet. His own play there, again, his ability to drop flashes. Top of the play. And again, nice first phase of the play. Being able to beat him to the outside, just doesn't have the second phase of the play yet. Then a drop. Okay. Starting at 5 and rushes outside, right? But then second phase of the play gets knocked out. So able to win again to the outside. Does a really nice job of coming inside out. But then he gets knocked down in that second phase, and because of that, it prevents him from finishing the third. So it really is just all about developing that second phase of the play for him. First phase of the play, eating that block. Second phase of the play, trying to beat the block. Wasn't able to do that. Third phase of the play, the motor. Check. First phase of the play, really collapse that pocket, generate that pressure. And second phase, he actually was able to get free enough to where the quarterback didn't have a chance. So, kind of did win that second phase on that play. But mainly because they kind of let him get free. Okay, nice first phase. Again, same exact thing. I keep on harping on, right? Excellent first phase. Just gets locked up at that second phase of the play. First phase, he fools both of these guys. Beats him inside, right? Second phase, he's just not able to finish that stunt, and he gets locked up by the center. And the third phase with the finish, he's able to come out and take on that receiver. So again, first phase check, second phase incomplete, third phase check. Bottom of the screen here. Really nice job pushing that pocket back. Just doesn't really have that moveset to complete that second phase of the play. Okay, nice first phase with the anchor. And nice finish with the shed and tackle. Again, nice job of getting outside, trying to beam him around the corner. Just not able to win that second phase of the play. Oh, not a first down. What? Okay, very nice play there, but again, the second phase he remained unblocked. So a really nice burst and jump off the snap to be able to generate the pressure. And then the third phase of the play was able to finish really well. Just the second phase, he didn't have to do anything. Nice tackle by the other Lion there, Trey Lamar. In coverage, I'll actually back that up. Boom. Comes up and makes a nice hit. Hope to see some of that in the preseason. Now coming back in. Exactly. See that second phase of the play again. Keep on the same issues over and over and over again. Right? So he does a really nice job here. Keeping himself free, hand fighting, trying to win the edge. In the second phase, he just doesn't get back inside quick enough. But then the third phase, he's able to get back inside, and then he's able to chase down the play. It's really that second phase of the play over and over and over again that comes up as an issue. First phase, nice pocket. Second phase, nice spin, but he gets eaten up by the running back. And the third phase, he's not able to finish because of that. It's that second phase of the play. Every single snap. Nice burst. Great start to the play and the screen. So didn't really get the chance to start that second phase. And then the third phase with the finish. Excellent motor. That's a great job on his part to come back around and make that tackle from the opposite side of the line. So again, same thing, right? I mean, of course, it wasn't his fault. The second phase of the play was it wasn't poor. It just went away from him by the time he was able to start that. But elite first phase player with the jump, elite first phase to keep himself free, elite third phase with the motor and the finish, right? Second part of that went away from him on that play, but in the past it's been the issue. And that's very, very consistent. Nice stunt with the first phase, second phase gets locked up. Third phase, we're going to see, him get held. So when I say, let me just fully explain this. When I say three phases, the first phase is typically the keep yourself open phase. It's getting your jump off your snap. It's forcing the offensive tackle back into the pocket and really winning that pocket collapse. And making sure you anchor, right? Making sure you don't lose ground, making sure that you're able to hold your own, and things of that sort, right? Austin Bryant, pretty good at all those things. Really nice job of forcing the offensive tackle back. Really nice job of getting push and winning around the end, right? The second phase is the get yourself free phase, right? So this is where you want to see your pass rush moves. This is where you want to see him bend and flatten. This is where you want to see a counter move. This is where you want to see him put himself into a position to get a sack, or a pressure, or a hurry, or a force fumble, some kind of playmaking, right? This is where Austin Bryant really struggles, is the second portion. He's not able to get himself free, which is why all of his pressures are coming from unblocked pressures, because he really struggles with getting himself free. Now, when he is free, he's able to transition right into that third phase, which we're getting to in a second, and get those pressures and sacks and everything. But his real big harping issue and his key negative is can he develop that second phase and work on getting himself free to make those plays. And then the third phase of the play is the playmaking aspect, right? And that's making the play. And once you get free, finishing. Pure finish, right? So this is where you see the motor come into play. This is where you see the closing bursting speed coming into play. This is where you see him like a strip sack come into play, a pressure come into play, things of that sort. You really look at more of the result in this phase. You look at, and of course, like for defensive backs, this is where you want to see a pass deflection or interception or whatever, and we'll cover that when we go over defensive backs. But you really want to see that finish, whether it be a tackle, a sack, a pressure, a hurry, a, a really just anything in terms of even motor, just simply chasing down the play, forcing a guy out of bounds, making a guy slide. It doesn't even have to be a stat, right? It just has to be an impact on the play. And Austin Bryant's good at that, right? We see him, if he's free, he generates good pressure. If he's free, he does a really nice job of forcing a hurry throw. If he's free, if he's free. Can he get free at the next level? That's what he's going to have to develop. And that's what I'm really harping on that second phase of him for. A position to drive the offensive lineman back. gets stuck. Now the third phase, he's able to utilize that motor and finish the play. That second phase of the play. Bottom of the screen. That was holding on the defense. Yeah, it's a good flag. I don't know if you call that DPI because they didn't disrupt the catch point, but that was holding. And again, the first phase of the play, that was more of a third phase issue too because he didn't recognize the run play. But yeah, very nice job on the first phase, moving him back and driving the offensive tackle back. Whether that, and of course, that can also be done two ways. That can be done with moving around and forcing an offensive tackle into their kick, or that can be done just by driving in power. So either way you win, as long as you win that phase of the play, you're doing your job. It's that second phase where he wasn't able to counter back inside and read the run play. Where his issues lied. On the screen. Now counter there, yeah. Okay, could have been better. I like the idea, it's just poor execution. Really want to see that be quicker. Nice play by number 8. Really nice jump off the snap. Really nice bend. Just didn't really flatten all that great, but it didn't really matter because he still got the hurry. So this play, again, he was able to win with that bend in the second phase, and look what happened. He generated a very close to a sack. And definitely hurried throwing and forced the play, right? Won the first phase with the get off and the jump snap. Wins the second phase with this really nice dip move. That's the one move about him that's already very polished. And because of that, offensive lineman fell, got himself free to make the play, and he finished. Every time he's able to get himself free, he's able to finish. So it's not the finish of the play that's the issue. And he does a pretty decent job of keeping himself free so that he can win. Oh, they actually did call that offside. Anyway, they did a really nice job of keeping himself free to be able to win that play. Win the play at the second phase. He jumped early. I don't think he actually crossed the line. And now second phase, not able to get himself free. Okay, first phase. Okay, that time was the opposite. That time he had a really nice second phase, and of course the third phase with the finish. First phase was a little bit weaker, right? So ideally you want to see him get off a little bit quicker here, and kind of generate that pressure earlier on in the snap. But lined up against the tight end, he kind of gets eaten at first, right? But on the other hand, on this particular play, not going against the lineman probably helps. He was able to get himself free a little bit easier. And then, of course, again, the motor and the finish with the third phase is always one of his biggest traits. That's kind of why I see him as a jack in Detroit to start. Probably rotating with Devon Kennard really early on in his career. Or still in defensive end, because he will eat tight ends. He will do a nice job of generating pressure against tight ends. Unblocked pressure, yeah, no chance. That's intentional grounding if that's not a sack. I don't care which one you call. Yeah, I don't know if that was a sack or grounding, kind of hard to tell. But whichever one you called, yeah, it was definitely a loss of yards. And again, the second phase of the play just does a really nice job of keeping himself free and in a position to win the second phase. Right? This offensive tackle doesn't get hands on him. And then as soon as he does, he's not able to get himself free in time. So there we go. I think I kind of harped on all the positives and negatives I really wanted to focus on in the first video. I don't want to go too long with this, but yeah. So I think I kind of took you guys through everything I really wanted to show off about Austin Bryant, and I probably will do another one at some point with the third game, and kind of going over some of the overall just pick reactions and everything else. Going more into the fit and everything. This is kind of more breakdown-y than I was expecting, especially toward the end. But yeah, overall, I really like Austin Bryant as a pass rusher if he can develop that second phase, right? So the run defending, he still has a little bit of room to grow and develop. He still has to work on that first phase of the play with the anchor. Much better in the second and third phases there. But in terms of pass rushing, you really love the motor, you really love the finish, and it's all about just can he get himself free. Keeps himself free with the hands, the great hand usage and ability to pocket collapse. Really nice finish with the sacks, the motor, the effort, uh, the closing burst and speed, the uh, bend, move, uh, and even not necessarily showing it off on that game, but he does have a little bit of a flatten. It's just can he develop the moveset that he needs to win the second phase of the play once he's engaged? That's what's going to be the big kicker for him. So, with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, learned a thing or two. Don't forget to subscribe and follow some of our other videos that we cover as well. And yeah, hopefully you guys come back and check out some of our other videos. But for now, have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. Well, that's a fail. I hope this was recording. For now, peace out.